Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or Tank12, however you want to call me. And today we're taking a look at Ruse. This is a 7-year-old strategy game by now. I think it was released in 2009 or 2010, around that time. And it's from Eugen Interactive, which is a French developer, I think. And they specialize on strategy games. And one of the strategy games they have published is Ruse. A very, very special real-time strategy game. As you will see, if you have never played it, it is really, really special. And they are the developers of the war game series. Because the war game series is maybe something you've heard of. It is a little bit more micromanagement, a lot more micromanagement than Ruse, and it's very, very tactical. That's one of the things that has always sticked out with the strategy games from Eugen Interactive. So this game, obviously a real-time strategy game based in World War II, and you have to use special abilities. Well, there are special abilities that you can use. We're gonna go for 2 versus 2, and we're just gonna be playing with bots because the problem is by now I think most people have stopped playing this game, and we're gonna set a time limit to 20 minutes where I can show you guys the game so you can see what kind of game this is, and maybe you will pick it up because it's a super interesting real-time strategy game. It's very unique, and yeah. So we're gonna be playing as, well, we have the United States, Germany, UK, France, Italy, the Soviet Union, and Japan. All of these have very special units and very special abilities. For example, the United Kingdom has one of the best air units in the game. Like, we're not gonna be playing Japan because Japan was added afterwards as a DLC, and it was just way too overpowered with everything. So, too strong. The United States is pretty much a good all-rounder. Germany is super, super strong with tanks. And since we are World of Tanks players, we're gonna be playing Germany. We're gonna choose, no, we're gonna just leave it all at that, and let's jump into the game. So yeah, Ruse was also published on the consoles back in the day, on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. And you can see right here, this is a very strategic overlook, and you have very different sectors. So we have I'm gonna show you guys what I mean with all the different special abilities that you have. You have a cloaking device where you can cloak all your buildings, and you actually have to build depots with which you are able to get all the resources. So logistic-wise, it's a really important thing to control as many depots as possible. And you have these abilities like Blitz, where all the units in this particular sector move faster. So we have an ally over there. He's also Germany. He's normal, and we have a United States over there who is also normal. So as you can see right now, there are very different units and very different buildings. You have pretty much, what do you call it? The garrison, the infantry garrisons. You have artillery and anti-air. Oh, we're playing against the Italians. And you have like tank bases. Further on, you have a lot of different times. Or pretty much. Sorry, I have to turn down the sound a little bit. It's a little bit too loud for me. So it's much better now. There are different time periods you're playing in. So right now we're in 1945. You have the option between 1939 during the outbreak of the war, and you have the option between 1942, like in the midst of the war, just before the turning point, or just during the turning point actually. And then you obviously have 1945, end of the war, with all the different technologies. Now, playing in the different time zones or different time periods, makes a lot more sense, has a severe impact on the game, because you'll have certain units that are only available for certain time periods. For example, now since we're in 1945, we have the Messerschmitt 262, which is the first, or one of the first jet-propelled, fighter aircraft. One of the first jet aircraft. And pretty much you'll see that in this game, that there are different play modes, or game modes. One of them is called Total War, where you can actually play from 1939 all the way to 1945, and you have like different windows where you can oh crap, we're getting attacked by the Italians. Different time windows where until you reach the next level of technology. So right now you can actually put all the infantry and some anti-tank, or all anti-tank weapons, and some anti-air weapons into the forests, and artillery plays a very vital role. And you can see right there, Italy is going into the offensive, and Italy has some very cheap tanks, which unfortunately for us right here are moving up and just destroyed our one depot there. So we're gonna build a new one, and we're gonna build some tanks so we can engage them. They also have some airplanes. We might need some Messerschmitt 109s. And how do you win this game? Well, you win by points. So after a fixed amount of time, the one team with more points wins. But you can obviously change that. You can change it to having a battle of attrition until the first team, gets wiped off the entire map. You can have that. And you can see right now we're kind of struggling with our finances right now. They have bombers. Oh, actually, that is a fighter plane. So the fighter plane just knocked out. And we don't have enough money for fighter planes. So we have to get that one up in the air. Our Junker, or Stuka, is going back down. And you can see that they just destroyed one of our vehicles that was about to build our... and they have some more fighters. Actually, I would have liked to build anti-air by now, because right now that guy with his bombers is just going to get a little bit too close to my one Panzer IV down there. But this Panzer IV is a lot more powerful than any other of those Italian tanks. But obviously, as you can see, there are just way too many, so we're going to pull back here. We do have the range. Points-wise, they have obviously more points than us. This is a hard KI, AI, excuse me, this is not German. And I'm just not playing the best strategy, or the best Ruse. So they're going ham over our airspace as well. We're gonna get both fighter planes, and there's a scout, which is a problem. They still have a fighter plane right here. We really need to take care of these Italian tanks right now. So maybe I was just... this is one of the things that you need to check, and you also need to use your abilities much more than I do right here. I'm just gonna make everything a little bit faster and getting fanatism so that my units will fight till the end. And you can see that they're using the exact same tactics and it's super effective right now. So we have to pump out some more Italian tanks, or German tanks, excuse me. We're not gonna be building any of that trash. And you can see we actually managed to fend off quite a large force, but we're still fighting. But I think we got this. What we need to build up now is we definitely need to get more anti-air, and we need to get a stronger tank front up here. So we're gonna get a store. No, not a store. We'll need some more fighter planes, definitely, to get all these fighters out of the way, and then we can send a new unit to build that freaking depot. We need some anti-air assistance, so I'm gonna build artillery and anti-air base. And you can see this game is very tactical. As always, strategy games are built upon units that can counter other units, and you have to play it really strategically. And you can see there is an ability which is called cloaking, where you can cloak all units pretty much, and where you can cloak all buildings. And I should have used that prior, because they always took out my my pioneers, which actually were trying to get that building fixed and built. But we can also build some defensive bunkers, which are super effective against certain tanks. You can see, or certain units. You have like the secret blockhouse, which is very, very strong. But since we only have 20 minutes and 10 minutes have already passed, I'm gonna see if I can actually upgrade my fighters instead of building artillery. So if we get bigger and better fighters like the Messerschmitt, and we upgrade our bombers, the Henkel 111 to the Arado, we will be a lot more efficient with taking on the Italians. Right now we're leading from the points, but you can see the Italians are controlling the middle. Pretty much the enemy is controlling the entire middle right now. And that is kind of a problem, because we do not have the essential scout unit, which is one of the things that is super important. Scout units are really, really important in this game, and in the old game as well. In the new games, like War Game, if you do not have scout units, you're pretty much screwed for the entire game, because you can't do anything against the certain tank units or heavy units if you do not have scout units, because your dive bombers can only engage tanks or vehicles that are spotted. And that, for example, over there is the Italian Caro M11, and I'm not sure, but the KI, or the AI, excuse me, it's German. The AI is actually really, really persistent over there. As you can see, they're still trying to push the middle. But my friend over here has built up quite the strong hold. And we just knocked out one of the depots, one of the pioneers who wanted to build something cool. So we're gonna drop some paratroopers over here just to control the forest. We will get our fighters and dive bombers into the middle part, where we can actually do some damage against them. I'm gonna move the Storch up a bit, and it's all looking quite nicely at the moment. We're gonna upgrade the bombers eventually, but not right now. I want to get better tanks to the front line, and obviously I'm called Tiger Tank. We're gonna call in the Tiger. We first have to unfortunately we first have to unlock that thing, but I tell you, it's probably worth it. And we're gonna drop our paratroopers right in there, in the forest. And they're sending a big bomber. So we have to engage that bomber. Take it out. Otherwise, we're gonna have a big problem. We will need some new fighter jets. The old Messerschmitt is a very reliable plane. But obviously, if you're going up against much better and more effective units, you'll need better units as well. So we're gonna put on the cloaking device for all of our buildings so that the bombers can't raid us. And you can see actually their dive bombers are able to take on our paratroopers, because that unit over there, that is a scout, is able to light them up. So right here with Thunderbolt in the air, and this Thunderbolt is going up against my scout, and if you lose your eyes in the sky, that's just very problematic. So that's why we're gonna move a tank. No, we're not gonna move the tank over. I just want to get rid of all of these planes in the middle. Gain air superiority. Once you gain air superiority, you're actually able to do almost anything. So we got another Storch up in the air, and in the meantime we can actually... God damn it. You need like constant air superiority, so you always have to keep some planes in the air, but that is kind of dangerous. So if I would build the prototype base, I would be able to get some very advanced units out on the field. So we're gonna get the new fighters in the air again. We almost lost Messerschmitt, one of the jet-fueled engines. Planes, excuse me. So we're gonna add some more blitz to all of our units so that they're faster. So we're getting all the fighter planes back in the air, so we can take out these guys over here. There's like a huge battle over here on my allies' turf. We will need some air defense that we can actually deploy. So that's why I'm gonna be saving for the prototype base. Once I get that, I'll be able to get the mouse and all certain other super awesome vehicles. This game does not take it very seriously with historically accurate depictions of certain vehicles. That is because it is a lot more fun as being an arcade game, and I have to agree on that. So we're gonna move up our heavies, and we're gonna engage these tanks right there. So the prototype base should be standing anytime soon, and we will be able to produce some pretty damn nice vehicles. So as you can see right now, unfortunately you still have to research some of them. But as soon as you have that, you have like the Wolfram, which is pretty much the rocket-propelled artillery piece of the Germans, the equivalent to the Stalin, what do you call them? I completely forget, but you know what I mean, to the Katyushas, the Katyusha rocket launchers. And right now you can see that we are controlling the middle section of the map. Or at least we're holding them off. We have 2 Tiger tanks here and 4 Panzer IVs. So yeah, it's maybe not as challenging going up against computer controlled enemies, but still, I think for people who just have joined the game or are completely new to RTSs, it's quite nice. And I mean, this game is very, very unique. You can see there B-25 Mitchell coming in. It's a lot of stuff right now. We actually just lost our depot and we lost our scout plane. There are only 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining, so we're just gonna get some Panzer scouts in here. We just lost a tank. There should be some Wirbelwind tanks coming in. These are super effective with 4 20mm guns. Actually, I have been very passive. I'm gonna try to attack here, and I might need some bombers for that as well. There are only 2 minutes remaining, so I'm not sure if we are able to still do that. So we probably will need to push the left side over here. Just take my my little army of tanks, and we're gonna. And you can see there are also like objects, fake troops, and there are all kinds of abilities that you can use to kind of manipulate the battle. Maybe sending false information to one of these sectors so they think there's a huge army going up there, while at the same time you're moving your tanks to the other side. So right now we will have to take the air superiority over here, and then we're gonna move into the Italian base. Should not be too hard. I mean, the Italians are rather underpowered. Faction in this game. Faction, yeah, it's faction. Yeah, in German it's called Fraction. TheFrXion. So yeah. And I think other than that, this game is actually quite nicely balanced, except for maybe some units. For example, the Japanese are just too powerful. There are only 40 seconds remaining, so yeah. One of the nice things is that they obviously target the strategic important targets. For example, anti-air units right there, since they do have a quite big armada. So now they're taking out our heavy tanks. Our tank units have almost all been eliminated, but we got some more German heavy armored coming in. But you can see we just won the game by points because I didn't want to make a too long video. And from the frags, we're top spot with almost all the air kills, because the Italians kept throwing all their units at us. But our ally on the other side actually was doing quite a nice job as well. Yeah, so Ruse is a very unique strategy game. It's super interesting with all the different abilities, and it's very tactical. So if you are a fan of strategy games, check out Ruse. Maybe you will like it. It's 6 to 7 years old, and if you want something more realistic, something with much more micromanagement, you should check out the Wargame series, because Wargame, they have like 3 installments now. Wargame European Escalation, Wargame Air Land Battle, and Wargame Red Dragon, I think. All 3 of them are super nice, but the newest one, Red Dragon, actually implements naval combat with air combat. Like, you have jets, you have all kinds of units from a lot of different nations, and they're all very accurate. So if you want to check out something like that, go check out Wargame. I'll probably make a video about that one later someday. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed Ruse. This game also provides a really nice campaign, which is for a strategy game, I think, very nicely narrated and written. I think it perfectly fits into the game, and it gives you a very good tutorial of the basics, and definitely later on also on a higher difficulty setting, the challenge for people who want to get, you know, challenged in a strategy game. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please comment, like, subscribe, whatever, and I'll see you guys on the next one.